Oh my gosh. It's really something. On a day where as O'Neill gets himself really comfortable right away, he says, "Okay, check me out. Look at that. The dog is sleeping on his back. His paws, his gigantic lion-sized paws are sticking straight up in the air. Holy cow." Um on a day where I have less to do, I actually, and there's a reason why, have less things to worry about, which means more time. Good morning, Tandy. If you have more time, you should be able to start on time. Do I? No. No, my God, no. What a jackass. But I'll explain. There's a million things going through my head right now. It's going to be one of those shows, I'm telling you. Okay, before we get started, I'd like to drop a couple sponsors on you because, I sprinkle them in like I do throughout the show. Hold on. And the first one is a ragtag group of heroes helping to inform the public on all the things that can hurt them and keep them healthy at the same time. The Kent County Health Department. If you need any information concerning COVID, access kent.com/health. That's where you go. Right when you go there, it pops up in bright red. Everything COVID related. And boy, I have news on COVID today from a personal standpoint that we need to get into. Holy crap. Access kent.com/health. Thank you so much. In fact, my pal, Chris, who works for the health department, he lives a couple doors down. This guy is just a dynamo. I mean, this is the type of guy that you want working with the public, with the county health department, because he's the guy who, instead of like waiting till he gets home from work to shovel the snow, he's such a go-getter. And he's very, very detail-oriented. He can't stand the fact that if you back the car out of the driveway and it compacts the snow down, and then you have a hard time getting the snow up, and you leave those two tracks leaving out of the damn driveway. He's that guy. And then he gets up like an hour and a half early just to clear the snow. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? No, just leave it there. Man. All right. Thank you, Kent County Health Department. We have a paintball event scheduled. It is coming up on Sunday, January 28th. That's a 5 p.m. start. Sunday, I'm sorry, not January 28th, you big fat dummy. February 28th. Let me try that again. Teamed up with TC Paintball Grand Rapids for yet another paintball event. It's Paintball War number 12, the Midwinter Massacre, Sunday, the 28th of February. On this one, we're going to do pre-registration. Now, I don't have it finalized yet, but right now, the tech team over at TC Paintball, it's an army of amazing tech individuals that are coming up with a crazy thing you can do where you click a button and you sign up in advance. That's brand new to the internet. It's never happened before. I'm totally being a smartass. No, they're creating that right now, and then I will tell you how to do it, and then you sign up ahead of time. So basically, you avoid that deal where you walk in, you got to pay your money, and you're doing this. You basically just check in, okay? So we're working on that right now. That is coming up. Be paying attention for that, and I will direct you what to do when we get ready and get closer to the event. I imagine by the end of the day today, we will have that link up and running. February 28th, 5 p.m., TC Paintball. We're going to do the CQB Jelly Ball, which is awesome. I cannot wait to try that. He's got these new guns, and you just hold down the trigger, and it goes, and it shoots out these little jelly balls, which are like soft marbles. And, can you imagine if they were actually real marbles? People are like dead. So we're going to play CQB Jelly Ball, as well as a massive paintball event. CQB Jelly Ball is just kind of like one of the things we'll do in addition to the paintball event. But we got a pizza party beforehand. It's going to be great. TC Paintball in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Thank you for being part of this show. Okay, it's the 5th of February, 2021. This show comes to you from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins right now.
Yes, hello.
Yes,
Sean
hello.
Gotti here, coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. And there's not a single radio show around here that's worth a damn. So I'm listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast, coming to you live Monday through Friday. So sit back, get your trays in the upright position, feet and elbows out of the aisle, because here he comes, Eric Zane.
Thank you very much, Sean. I'm so happy. You may have just seen it on the live stream. You may be like, boy, why did he just open his mouth wide? I was going to be talking about right this second about how my jaw is locked shut again. And while we were sitting here, I did a little, you may have noticed, I did a little movie I put my hand up to my face and tried to move that little thing in my jaw around, and I was successful, and now I can open my mouth. When I was starting that podcast, doing all of those ads, those 2 ads for Kent County Health Department and TC Paintball, my mouth would only open like a fraction of what it's supposed to, because of that stupid thing that's been bothering me since I was 21 years old, and it flared up again. And so I was sitting here getting the show ready. It's part of the reason why I was late, is because I'm sitting there doing my work, coming up with things to talk about, getting some audio ready, whatever, getting a cup of coffee, and then it locks. It's the absolute worst, because imagine trying to talk for 2 hours and your mouth can only open this far. Oh my gosh, it's the absolute most awesome thing in the world when it frees up like that, and it did. And I was like, oh my God, right when the music was playing. Right now, yeah. I'm looking at myself on the monitor and just amazed that I can open my mouth. Oh my God. Jeez. We have a bunch of stuff to get to on the show today. First of all, how do you watch or listen to the show? I try to move through this as quickly as possible each and every time, but it's still very, very important to note this. At about 8 a.m., a little late today, 8:11 is when I got started. At about 8 a.m. each and every Monday through Friday on Facebook, facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page is where I bring the show to you live. Please share it. Please give it a like, a happy face or a thumbs up. That would be very, very kind if you did that. Thank you. It's brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Twitter, a Periscope video. Bought and paid for by Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. 616-200-8550. Thank you. Retweet it. Okay, usually only one or two of you retweeted. Brian does it. Sarah does it. Retweet it right now and then write like an asshole-ish comment. This guy sucks. Check out how shitty he is. I don't care what you do. So if you could, that would be awesome. And then on the almighty YouTube, brought to you by F45 in Byron Center, Michigan, F45training.com/Byron Center online. Work out for 1 week free with them. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell notification, and then crush the thumbs up button. Thank you for that. Leave your comments on any of those platforms about the things we're talking about. Go ahead, get into a discussion about it. Everybody is friends here. Nobody takes it personal. Nobody gets butthurt. Occasionally, we get somebody who's a troll on there. We try to keep an eye out for them. Okay, this show is available audio podcast as well wherever you download podcasts. Just search Eric Zane or ericzaneshow.com, right where it says free podcast. Click on that, and off you go. You can listen on your desktop. You can subscribe to it on your mobile device. Whatever. Stand by. Okay. Oh man, just a ton of things to get into today. Close to home, the kids get to play sports. If you're listening in and around, well, in the state of Michigan, this has been a huge issue, and I have to fill you in as to how this has unfolded. And the big enemy of the people in this is the governor of Michigan. And I have some thoughts about this whole thing. And I just want to try to provide some perspective for you people that hate this woman. Okay? Just, again, this is all about turning down the temperature. The kids get to go back to playing sports. My thoughts on this. And I'm going to try to do this with as much respect as possible. All right, I don't want to alienate you folks who are like, man, I want my kids to play sports, and I'm going to go to the rally at the Capitol, and I'm going to call the Huge show and say, hey, Huge, and he's going to go, hey, you know, all that shit. I want to handle this appropriately, and I'm going to, because I'm freaking great. Zaniac Chris D's. Oh, geez, hang on. We're going to get to Zaniac Chris D's listener poll. Wait, what do you mean Zaniac Chris D's? Well, it's because it's Chris's idea. I mean, it's not anything new. I mean, I've done stuff like this before, but he had a great idea, and I'm going to share it with you. And then that is what brought on the listener poll. And this time, it is about country star Morgan Wallen. I will read your thoughts of all the things, well, some of the highlights, not each and every one of them. I'm going to touch on some of them. All right? That's the guy, Morgan Wallen, who his neighbor ratted him out. His neighbor hated him. And the neighbor had a Ring doorbell cam. Who knows? He probably had it set up just for this moment, waiting for this guy to do something nasty. And he did, and then the neighbor hates him so much, he ran to TMZ. That's a little fucked, don't you think? Is that kind of dirty pool? I mean, I know the guy said the N-word, and I'm not going to throw my hat in behind supporting Morgan Wallen by any stretch. But the fact that the neighbor had the doorbell cam and took that footage and it was as simple as the material goes. It happens out in the street. The camera records it. It's sent to the neighbor's app. The neighbor goes at tmz.com. Here you go. Check this out. And if you're Morgan Wallen, why didn't you deny it? I mean, seriously, he could have very easily have just said, that wasn't me. That was some other asshole visiting me, because you couldn't see the guy's face. It probably may have served him better to lie about it. Probably not. I'm just being stupid. All right. We'll get into that. A Florida man, ... Yeah, seriously. Another story of a Florida man. Florida man puts the moves on a judge. You're going to love this. I know I did. We'll get to that. It is anniversary time. I'm going to explain to you what's going on in my brain. And it's probably good that I forgot. And today is also kind of a holiday. Well, it actually is a holiday. I'll explain to end the show. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is O'Neill. He's brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair. This is Bruce. He's brought to you by Grand Rapids Hybrid. Daisy is sleeping in the other room, along with Benny, the one-eyed wonder dog. Normally, Daisy's pretty social. She wasn't allowed in here for the longest time because she snores. But you can hear it. I thought for sure it would be a distraction. But you can hear it on the mic, so normally she's in here. Benny, the one-eyed wonder dog, is shy. He has no interest in being here whatsoever. That's the dog we adopted from an animal shelter. He's one of those guys who was like the last dog in the shelter, like forever. And he extended, this is in San Antonio, Texas. He extended the amount of time that he could stay there. And the dog was going to die, like on a day. Like he was slated to die. And then a rescue shelter by the name of Obie's Angels, OBE''S, Obie's Angels, put out the word that he was going to be euthanized. And they, you know how it is with these animal shelter people. They're like, oh my God, all hands on deck. This dog's about to be euthanized. We gotta save him. And one young lady saw that post and then shared it on her Facebook page. And then another young lady named Jacqueline a.k.a. the Princess of the Forest, saw the post and said, "Tell them I'll take the dog." Friend of Jacqueline reaches out to Obie's Angels, who reaches out to the San Antonio Animal Shelter and says, "We have a person who will adopt the dog." I'm sitting over here minding my own business. I have no idea what's going on. This was post radio. I'm over here figuring out, what to do on this podcast. And then, the dog 2 months later is here minus one eye. And there you go. The rest is history. And he has been so abused. He was so abused that he gets the highest anxiety if he is anywhere out of his routine. And his routine is laying on the frickin' bed, snuggled up to Diana with his baby. So, we got to roll out the red carpet for this guy. So that's the story with him. So rescue dog, yes, O'Neill, but he doesn't have any anxiety because we got him when he was a puppy. And frickin' Benny is just a big jumble of nerves. I said nerves. And then you got Bruce and O'Neill. All right. We got hammered with snow. And this one, here in Michigan, we had been for the longest time like, oh man, it's just not happening. We're getting no snow, nothing. It's just, and everybody has now forgotten that because we got some last week or something like that. It was a pretty good amount of snowfall. And now this thing just hit. And so we got probably about where I live 4 or 5 inches. And now it's the temperature has dropped. The wind is blowing. And these bands of lake effect snow are stretching way inward because of the high wind. So, yeah, we're getting clobbered. If you're closer to where the lakeshore is, like Throat/Dale, they're sitting on about a foot, maybe a foot and a half that's going to hit them, depending on where you are. So that's it, man. We're getting ready to dig out. I love it. And snow day. So no school, nothing. So the queen of the forest sleeps in. That means I have less things to worry about to start the day. I don't have to pack lunches for her. Madison, I didn't have to pack a lunch for anyway because she was quarantined because she was exposed, and contact tracing said, you got to stay home, but she's fine. She's back to school Monday. So that's how it is right now. So I get done with this show today, and then boom, got to get rid of the snow with the snowblower. So that's the plan. People are sliding off the roads on the way to work. It's an absolute catastrophe. Roads are an absolute mess. This all hit yesterday at the exact time that Diana and I were traveling 15 miles to the east to Grand Rapids, Michigan, to this gigantic facility known as DeVos Place, which is quite a venue. This is the type of place in a mid-sized city where big building where they have like the motorhome and RV show and the big North American Auto Show has a version of what they do in Detroit. They do it here. Great facility. Gigantic, man. I mean, it is from floor to ceiling in the actual show area where they have like the motorhome show and the car show. You're looking at about from floor to ceiling, probably 10 stories. I mean, it's a big room. And that is the site for this part of the state of Michigan where they're having a mass vaccination area. And so Diana, being in the schools, she had been waiting and on a waiting list, and there was no one knew when this was going to happen. This isn't exactly the most populated area in the state. I mean, Detroit is out of vaccine. Like, I was doing some work for my dad to figure out when he could get his. He lives in this enormous county called Macomb County, where millions of people live there. They have none. There's no vaccine available. Not so here. Quite a bit different. The gears are moving, and more people around here are getting vaccinated. And Let me just say this. With Diana getting the vaccination and me walking through this facility with her and watching the whole process, you got a sense of, wow, this is really big. This is, after all that we've been through, considering the fact that 1 year ago, if it was February 5th, 2020, we were all like in limbo. We were all like, boy, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder how long till we knock this out. It's probably going to be a couple more weeks of having to worry about it. I know I was in that spot. I remember at this time 1 year ago, I was trying to write lyrics to a parody song with John from Jennison called My Corona, because everybody was like, laughing about it, no big deal, whatever. And I don't know if we really knew what to expect. And, here we are 1 year later. I've lost my mother to this on October 16th. Then I promise I wouldn't cry. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe 1 year later my mom is gone because of this. I know many, many people who have lost loved ones, and here we are to the point now where in that amount of time, because it wasn't until like mid-March, as soon as Tom Hanks got it and the basketball player got it, then the world really started to shut down at that point. Okay, and then that's nearly 1 year ago. So in that time, there was all the destruction, all the shutdowns, all the death, all the vaccinations being created, and now we're putting it into arms. And I'm walking through this place, and it's all kind of going through my head. Wow, we've come this far. This is really, really crazy to me. This is, for Diana, this is the end of the line in terms of, for me at least how I feel. You might feel differently, and I don't want to start a war about this, but it's kind of like you're going to live no matter what. I mean, like there's a small risk. If I get sick, I die. A very, very, very small risk, but it's still a risk. It's a risk that did not exist 1 year ago. It's a risk that did not exist for 550,000 people in the U.S. or whatever the number is now. That wasn't a thing. And in that amount of time, it became a thing, and they're dead. My mom's dead because something that wasn't a thing became a thing and killed her. And now there's another thing that can make it so that you don't die. That's incredible to me. And walking through that room and seeing, every time I've been in that place, it's been festive. There's been wall-to-wall cars, RVs, fishing show, whatever, and here it is. It's quiet. There's nothing. You walk in, there's a guy with an orange vest. And you meet this army of volunteers like every 25 feet, directing you where to go. And it is a well-oiled machine. Let me tell you, if you get to the point where you go to DeVos Place to get your vaccination, it's incredible. You feel like you're part of just something gigantic where everybody's on the same fucking page. And, you've heard nothing but terrible things about the rollout and this and that and the other thing. And there's no vaccine, and there's confusion. There wasn't any of that here. It was great. You walk in, dude greets you. He checks. Diana holds up her cell phone with the proof that she's in line. They direct her to a certain spot. You go to, there's all these people directing you. It's like it's walking through Disney World at like in Epcot, and there's no one there, and you're just kind of walking through. It's just a handful of people going in line. And then you get to the point where you're actually getting near the end of the line, and you have to fill out a bit of documentation, and the line is stacked up a little, probably like 10 people deep, all socially distant. Everybody's masked up, but everybody's kind and sweet, and it's all, it moved. It was really, really great. You get to a point where then after you fill out a bit of paperwork, and then you're in the system, you then sit down with the nurse, and I posted that video of Diana getting the shot, and she like winces, it's just a little poke, no big deal. And then you sit. And I didn't post this video, but I probably will a little later on. This is a gigantic facility. This facility was made to do this. It's absolutely perfect that we have this here. In fact, when you walk in, they have a sticker on you. They put a sticker on you in case you're from way, way far away and you don't know where you are. With this sticker, it'll apparently it can, people will notice it and say, hey, do you know where you're at right now? If you're at a certain spot where you shouldn't be, they'll say, hey, are you lost? Yeah, I am. How could you tell? Well, you got that sticker. Oh, okay. I don't know. But apparently people from far away are coming to this place. So, okay. She gets a shot, and then you sit in this waiting area. They want you to wait 15 minutes, and they have these big-ass TVs set up with the time. That's all that's on there is the time. And so you sit down. We sat down. It was 4:12 p.m., and then I go, all right, it's 4:26. It's going to take us 1 minute to walk out of here. She sat there. We walked out, and then there's hundreds of people in there just waiting. And, that's all day long, all day, every day. So they're moving thousands of people each and every day. It's pretty great. I don't know. Maybe you're not that. To me, I was just like soaking it in. Okay. And putting everything aside about vaccine, good for you, vaccine, not good for you. I'm scared of vaccine. I'm not scared of vaccine. You're not going to put poison in my veins. You're crazy. Outside of all of that, and without going down the road of you're right, you're wrong, whatever, just seeing this all move, it gave me personally the sense that this is slowly ending. This is slowly coming to a close. There's going to be a day, maybe not right away, where this won't be a thing, or at least not as much of a thing that's just slaughtering our brains. And I started to cry. I'm walking. I was thinking of my mom. And it makes me want to cry right now, but I'm pretty buttoned up about it. But I kind of got that all out. And I was like, damn it, we're just a little bit too late. Fuck. Just a little bit too late. So I was so yeah, I said I was pretty buttoned up, but I guess I'm not. And then we got out and it was snowing like crazy. It wasn't snow when we got into there, but it was snow when we got out. All right. And that's that. Thank you. I'm okay. I appreciate you for being concerned. All right. So yesterday it kind of came and went. And I apologize if I made you upset. I know that since your hearts are all so big, when you see me upset, you get upset. And so if you just put on your makeup, I'm really sorry about that. It's going to be okay. Right, buddy? Right, fella? So this morning it was snowing so bad. I had a thought in my brain that because we all went outside snowing like crazy, I got Bruce on a leash because he'll take off like an asshole. And he doesn't crap. And I got the feeling that none of the other dogs went poo too, because Bruce pees and then he runs to the back door and he's like, all right, let's go inside. And they're all there too. And I got in my mind the notion that they're all thinking the same thing. It's okay. We don't want to be out of here. We'll just take a dump on the carpet today. And so I'm like waiting, because I don't think even one of those dogs went poo. It's so shitty out there. The dogs are like, screw this. We're going inside. Oh my God. And then so when I left this room, when I left this room, when I was busy being late to start the show, I fully expected it to smell like crap of Bruce having gone, and then O'Neill, having cleaned it up for me with like licking his chops. Sick bastard. The dog, I love him so much, O'Neill. But every time I catch him doing that, I'm like, oh, I want you to know that for about 5 minutes, I hate you. You're not even my dog. Okay. And it's not, and I don't know why it is, but the amount of time passes, and then I'm like, all right, I'll pet you again. But he still ate poo. It's not like he rinsed his mouth out or anything. How is that a thing? There needs to be someone in the veterinary industry to come up with some type of thing that will prevent the dog from eating poo. I mean, my God, what a horrible, horrible thing. And that there are probably all the other animals in the animal kingdom don't do this. Bears are like looking at dogs like those sick fucks. They're of the devil. Ugh. Yesterday was the 5-year anniversary from when I made that horrible. It was the beginning of my cancellation on a day we were talking about Morgan Wallen. Yesterday was the 5-year anniversary, and I had forgotten about it. Pellerito reminded me of that horrible thing I did. What a awful, awful day it was. You remember it well. Oh my God. The heinous, horrible, terrible thing I did went on the radio. Oh my God. The nerve of me. I mean, I know I had done this for the previous 15 years, but that this was the final straw. When I said, I know it's terrible to repeat, that the shot clock was a disaster and the place sucked, and the guy who owned the shot clock in the building wore dungarees. Oh my God, the nerve of me. Holy shit. Oh, such a terrible thing. Oh no. Why have you done this to us? Yeah, that's what I did. Yesterday was the day that I went on the air, and most of this I forget, but I remember on Wednesday, today's the 5th, the 3rd of February. Hang on. Still got a runny nose after crying about my mom. I went out to eat with my brother, Norman Bummer. I ran into a guy by the name of Sam, who became an intern of mine at WBBL. You remember Sam, the dude from South Korea? Sam was a waiter at the Olive Garden where Norman Bummer, my brother, and I went to eat. The plan was go eat at the Olive Garden on that day, Wednesday, the 3rd of February. After we ate, I'm going to the Deltaplex for the basketball game, the drive game. It was great. Get to the arena and business as usual. The game's getting set to get started. I'm sitting there at the scorer's table, and a referee walks up and goes, all right, let's test the shot clocks. And this is something they do every game. They go to test the shot clock. Shot clock's not working. They go, all right, well, what are we going to do? They go, I don't know. So Joel comes over, Joel Langlois from the Deltaplex. He comes over. He's putzing around with the fucking thing, trying to pull plugs. He's, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And they go up to the clock. They set up a ladder. They're trying to shut it down, restart it. Nothing. Ref goes, all right, it's tip off in 5 minutes. He points at me. You got to count down from 10. I go, what are you talking about? Well, you see, one shot clock worked, but the other one didn't. Yeah, you got to count down from 10. You got to keep your eye on the one shot clock, and as soon as it gets 10, you got to start counting down from 10 into the microphone so the players know it. And I'm like, well, this is stupid. What are you, fucking crazy? No. I'm thinking, this is bullshit. So I agree to do it, of course. I got no choice after I say no in my head. And so then I'm just staring at a clock to the left while the play is going on to the right. And then as soon as it gets 10, and the first few times I forget, I started counting at 5. 5. Oh, and then the coach is like, oh, what the fuck? The coaches are getting pissed at me. It's a shit show. So then what started out as I'm going to kind of keep an eye on the game and the clock. That failed because I kept missing it. So then I just commit to staring at the shot clock for the whole damn game. And I think midway through the game, they got it fixed, but it was just a pain in the ass and hilarious, too. I mean, that's a funny story. So that ends. I go to work the next day, Thursday, the 4th of February, and there was always something that would happen. Excuse me. I'm having an issue because of all the crying I was doing. So hang on a second. I always turn down the mic when I do this so it doesn't sound gross. So bear with me. All right. Big sniff. Should be good. One-man show. What can I do? I can't say, hey, you guys, excuse me. I got to go fix my brain right now. I'm loaded with snot. I get to the radio station. Now, being that this is 5 years ago, everything going through my brain, we were at a stage in this show where we weren't like pals or anything. Nobody was really friends. And this is all hindsight being what it is. We weren't really on the same page. I felt that show had gotten quite stale, and I think Greg did too. I don't know about Chris. Maybe he thought that we weren't having nearly as much fun as what we used to have. And I don't know. I think maybe as people get older, I was getting very antsy and uncomfortable with what we were doing, and I was concerned because we hadn't added a station in quite some time. So I was like freaking out maybe. And so I always felt like, boy, I'm really scared about losing this. What are we doing here? What's going on? What did we used to do that we're not doing? What has happened? And I guess I never really asked that question out loud. Perhaps if I had, we may have sat down and figured it out and had maybe figured out a way to improve or right what was wrong. Because, like I said, no one was really talking to each other, and it was just a little bit of we were kind of, I guess, not really that friendly. And truth be told, I don't think that people like to work in that environment. I know I didn't feel good about it. I felt like, hey, man, I don't know. This seems weird. I don't know if I can make it. So maybe I would start to so I was like starting to resent people on the show. And so when you do that, that's kind of like the beginning of the end. So maybe in hindsight, when I made fun of Joel the next day, and then I got in trouble for it, maybe that's why it was easier for them to say, well, let's just cut him loose. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really losing sleep over it these days. Man, it was a long time ago. And I don't have it's been so long that I'm not like bent about it anymore. I used to be extremely upset about it. But I did feel many times, and the reason why I jumped onto that story the way I did, I sometimes felt like I needed to throw in whatever I could to get away from the same old thing that we were doing. We tended to just do the same thing every day. Take a news story, talk about it, get some laughs, but nothing really big. We had, in the years prior, had done these really big things. We did Joe running with the bulls. The Joe stunts were huge. We just had a kind of like a menu of things that we could go to, and they were really, really great. When Joe went to the UK with Steve, I mean, these were like when the going to California for the Lindsay Lohan thing. These were these big high watermark moments that kept happening, and that was great. And then I felt like, well, we just don't do that anymore. What are we doing wrong? Maybe if I had that conversation, or if we all had that conversation, we'd still be together. I don't know. But I felt like we weren't, that didn't happen anymore. And I felt personally like, hey, I think I gotta maybe a square peg round hole it on just about everything I can find. And it didn't mean it worked, but I just felt that gnawing or that nagging that we were losing something. Coupled with, we don't really talk to each other. and you have a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. You know, if you feel like you're struggling and you're not really friendly with each other, something bad happens, like the Joel thing at the Deltaplex, that can lead to this. And I had, over the years, you throw Russ Hines into the mix. Now, Russ was an absolute 180 from what we had as a general manager. We had this guy named Phil Catlett, who was an excellent facilitator of all that we were trying to do. He encouraged us to take the show of all talk, and if we ever got in trouble, his approach with smoothing over things that we got in the weeds over was excellent. Russ was not that guy. He would quite typically just throw his hands in the air and fucking freak out and, oh my God, and try to smooth it over, but he didn't have the skill set to do that. Okay? Well, if he did, it just wasn't like Catlett's. Catlett, you barely even knew when someone was pissed. Okay? It happened, but not like it happened when Russ was there. So Russ, after, numerous times of the same shit happening, which for me, I was like, this is what fucking got us to the mountain, was us just doing our thing and not giving a fuck. And, everybody benefited. And then all of a sudden, that's not so good anymore. People didn't like that. And I struggled mightily with that. So here I am doing what I'd always done. And then all of a sudden I'm getting my ass kicked over it. Oh, fuck, this is not good. So after the playing AIDS drops, which were just fucking hilarious. And I am not sorry about any of that, by the way, because that was just the funniest fucking thing in the world. I said sorry then, but I wasn't. I was just saying that to save my job. I am not sorry about playing AIDS drops over the AIDS commercial. It was great fun. Everybody laughed. Everybody in that room laughed, howled with laughs every time I did that. Every single time. Until Russ got a phone call. Hey, were you playing Peter Griffin singing some song about AIDS over a commercial that said, I will survive with AIDS? Yeah, so? Uh-oh. Well, I got a call about that. Someone's mad. Yeah, whatever. Beat it. Well, that almost got me fired, man. That was bad. And I'm like, oh, shit. You got to be kidding me. So Russ is like, okay, you got to go to sensitivity school. All right, yeah, okay, sounds good. I didn't go to, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit. So, I didn't change anything. I didn't feel, in the back of my mind, I was like, you're going to get fired. It's coming. So to the letter of the law, I mean, their field, their ball, I'm not blaming them. That's the way they changed the, they did change. I could not change. I still, and I'm even further. There is no way that I regret any bit of the shit that I did. That's what I was paid to do. I'm glad I did it. And if I ever said sorry for it, I'm not. I was always trying to make people laugh. That's what I was paid to do. And it got to a point where that did not jive with how they did it. And they did away with me. And that is, I do not fault them or anybody for that. I don't fault anybody for saying, all right, fuck him. He's a liability. Not at all. I don't have a problem with anybody saying, I didn't like that. I used to get butthurt because Greg said, oh yeah, there was a dark cloud in that room. Probably. Yeah. I think that's true. But I don't agree necessarily that it was all my fault. We just didn't get along anymore. No big deal. We weren't, and so that was that. I have no regrets. It is what it is. I'm happy with the way my life is right now. I will say this though, it was pretty crazy for me. And again, when I talk about this, I don't I'm not upset and I'm not pointing a finger. I'm just telling you the timeline. So back to that. After Russ, okay, so I had gotten in trouble for the AIDS thing. They made me sign an affidavit saying if you ever get in trouble again, you're fired. And I was like, well, you might as well just fucking fire me. But I ended up hanging on for months. And then the Deltaplex thing, which is so not sexy of a thing to get fired for, but Joel Langlois called the radio station. Now, here's where it gets a little bit nutty because, and I can't say for sure, but it seems there's a couple of things that stand out to me that maybe management was like, he's more trouble than he's worth, and we can save a ton of fucking money if we blow this guy out. Because they said to me after Joel complained, Russ calls me up. He goes, you're in deep, deep trouble. You got to go on the air and apologize. And Joel is furious. He is so mad. I go, well, let me call him. No, he doesn't want to talk to you. That is not true. I know that because Joel was on my show on BBL, and he's been in this room on this podcast with me when he was making a run for the congressional district in Michigan. He goes, that's not true at all. I would have talked to you. I didn't even care that much. I was annoyed, and I voiced my displeasure to what you were saying, but I didn't want you fired. So that's weird. So, I mean, what am I to believe? The guy who complained or Russ? Well, of course I'm going to believe Joel. It wasn't nearly as big of a deal as Russ made it out to be, and anybody made it out to be. Joel wasn't that pissed off, but they were like, okay, this is it. He's put us in deep, deep doo-doo. Holy shit. So that was that. The next day, Friday, I go to work, and I'm sweating it, man. I'm like, oh God. And during the show, Russ goes, I need to talk to you. And he goes, you have to go on the air and you have to say you're sorry. This is while the show's going on. I go into the studio, and I was running the board at the time, and I apologized. And I just want to say right now that I wasn't sorry at all. I was just trying to save my job. And it just seems such a stupid thing. I am so sorry for joking about Joel's pants. I mean, it was fucking terrible. I mean, it was such a stupid thing to apologize for, that it was embarrassing. And Greg's looking at me like, you fucker. And I'm like, he knows that I'm in deep, deep trouble. But I'm like, yeah, I'm in trouble. But I mean, let's think about what I'm in trouble about. This isn't that big of a deal. And so that ends. And then I felt kind of fish out of water after that. And then Ray Bentley came in. I remember that. And then I had to go talk to Joel, or not Joel, but Russ. And I think we had a meeting after the show with all of the players. So it was Eric, Greg, Chris, Joe, Steve. And it was pretty contentious. They were very, very unhappy with me over this. And in my back of my mind, I'm like, I cannot believe this is that big of a deal. The shit we've done over the years, and this is where it's going to go. Oh my God. But all right, that's it. I felt like shit. They said, all right, you're suspended without pay for a week, and then we'll reevaluate in 1 week whether or not you get to come back. I'm like, oh shit. Now that was the worst. And from this point, that ends me having any place to speak on a like with information, because I got nothing. At this point, I can only speculate as to what happened, because I have no clue. I don't know who talked about what, who felt what. I had very little contact with the show. They were very upset at me about that. And then that was it. The next, I remember that whole week, man, I was super upset, and I was at home here alone, very, very bummed out. And then that's when the anxiety began that I deal with to this day. And so on that Friday, the following Friday, I remember I got in a suit and went to get fired. I said, I don't know why. I felt like I had to dress up, which is crazy to me. That's just how my brain works. And I went in there and there was Russ. Hey, Eric, how are you? He's all chipper. This dude is just oh boy, I don't know. Something about him. I sat in there with Tom Cook, and Tom, I've talked to Tom, didn't say a word. He's just like quiet. And then Russ said, he goes, we've decided we're going to go in a different direction, Eric. We're going to let you go. We're going to need you to sign this non-disclosure agreement. And that was it. He was very matter of fact. I was like, oh my God. Phew. So that was it. I met with Greg and Chris shortly thereafter. And we began the discussions about how to get me out of the LLC. And they compensated me very well. That was very kind of them. Well, I mean, it was the third mine, so it had to be that way. It was pretty simple, though. It was handled quite well. Going back, I wish I had never been so angry and attacked them. Well, I didn't. No, I did attack them. I attacked them because I put them in a negative light. I told the details. And if I had, but I was upset. I had a fuck them attitude. Fuck them. I don't want to. And when I got on the radio, that's when I told what happened. And when I described it as, they didn't reach out to me or this or that or the other thing. If I had been smarter and really wanted to be friends with them, I would have just avoided all of that. Okay. But I was very upset, very upset. I was very hurt. I was very raw, very emotional. So when I described them in a negative light, it's saying that Greg called me the dark cloud and Chris never reached out to me and things like that. That all made them look bad. And I've talked about this before, and we've gone down this road, so there's no reason to rehash it or re-apologize. They know how I feel. I've told them that all. And I have no hurt feelings about it, and nor should you. It's a long time ago. It was just a long time ago, so it's gone. And so that was it, man. It's just crazy to think that was 5 years ago. And it's just nuts because then that opened up a whole new set of sagas. The whole bit about staying at home and doing the podcast, the video podcast on YouTube, courting Kyle and trying to create this show, and then the fucking nightmare scenario that guy put me through. Oh, my God. It all kind of is in one big thing. Honestly, getting to this podcast where I'm stripped down, I'm just talking to you alone with my dogs in a room above my garage, a camera and a microphone. I feel great. I really do. And I'm every single day I count the blessings of you populating this. I mean, it's just great. I couldn't be happier. And so thank you. It has helped us, and to be able to do this day in and day out for as many times as I have now is I owe it to you. I owe it to you, and in a sense, you are the word "you" means the people who pay attention to the show, listen to it, and sponsor the show, and sign up for my Patreon, and you like my little stupid videos, and you retweet my shit and you share it. That's it. That's what I've been doing. So. Will radio ever? I was talking to a guy in radio the other day, and he goes, "Do you ever want to get back into radio?" I go, "Well," and I think my honest answer to that is, I do, but it can only be an accessory to what I truly feel is the future of what I am to do till I don't do it anymore, and that is this. If I were ever given the opportunity to be on the radio, and they said, "Well, we don't like that you do that podcast. You can't do that." I would say, well, then I can't do the job. I just can't do it. I have to be totally honest, though. If they said, we're going to give you $1 million a year to do that, would you do that? Well, then I would be just stupid if I said, if I turned that down because of the podcast. So I'll be completely transparent with you. If someone offered me $1 million to do a radio show, but I had to get rid of the podcast, I would hope you would understand that. But That's not going to happen. So right now, I would be just happy, honestly, if I could get a few part-time hours on a radio station, in addition to what I do for Q100 in Northern Michigan, which is gratis. I only do that for the ability to say on the radio that I do a podcast, and I'd like you to come check it out. But if someone said to me, hey, we want to put you on the radio for some part-time hours, I'd absolutely do that. I would love it. I would hope that they'd let me mention the podcast once in a while, because that's how I eat. But that's it. That's where I sit right now, and I feel pretty damn good about it. So thank you very much. Hope you like that story. The 5-year anniversary. 5 years ago today, I was just a absolute a bundle of anxiety and nerves and scared. And, oh, my God, this is the end of my life. And look where we are right now, in the dormer above my garage with my dogs and you. All right. Okay, got the Patreon tonight with Ben. And we I have so much fun doing that Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Tonight's the night. And I want to see you there on the live stream, the video live stream, because you'll have a chance to play Bet on Ben. It's really easy. Ben and I are on Zoom. If you want to play Bet on Ben, I click on your name and I send you the link while we're doing the podcast. You click on it, and then your face shows up on the live stream. And then we play. If you're not familiar with the game, I ask a trivia question to Ben. You, as the player, will bet on or against Ben. Let's say you bet on him, and he gets it right. Ding! That's a match. And that means that you win $1. You then try to double your money. Do it again. If you say, I bet against Ben, and he gets it wrong, ding, that's a match. You now have $2. And then you try to double. You keep trying to double. You got to go on a hell of a run of matching to get to the big prize of $50 whole dollars. My God, look out. And it's fun. And you get to hear Ben do his wheeze laugh, which is just classic. And we're going to do it tonight, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here. If you want in on it, go to patreon.com/Eric Zane. Hang on, get a little chilly in here. It's going to be like 0 degrees here for the next freaking month. That's the word. Winter is back. Everybody's like, oh, winter's gone, man. We're not getting any snow this year. It's going to be warm all winter long. Not so. My mortgage sponsor is the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Okay, now, let's say you're thinking about buying a house. You want to get pre-approved. Everybody knows that. Do you just call up one place, first name you see, and say, hey, I want you? No. You interview. That's what you should do, because a mortgage is a big freaking deal, and you want to make sure that the best person is working for you. They're working for you. So you spend a day, make a few phone calls, and talk to 2 or 3 people. All I ask is that Mario from the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage is part of your process. Okay? 231-332-6505. Get more information on his website. You can get to it by going to ericzaneshow.com and click right on the Van Dyke Mortgage, Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage logo. It looks just like that sign right there. It's green, emerald green, white letters. Can't miss it. Thank you, Mario. Get a workout in at F45 in Byron Center, Michigan. Zane, I'm in South Dakota here, okay? You can't make it. If you're driving through, maybe you can get a free workout. But for those of you that are in and around Byron Center, Michigan, the place to work out is F as in Frank, the number 4, the number 5, F45 training.com/Byron Center. I constantly say the website because when you go there, that's what you click on to start your 1 week free. And that's it. Just go. Okay? It's time to get in shape. You've got kids. You got a wife. They want you to be around for a long time. And you know that exercising will help you live longer. And as Joe Rogan says, everyone should fucking exercise every fucking day. Okay? Do it at F45. They take all the thinking out of it. You walk in there, you go, hey, what do I do? They go, watch us. We'll show you. F45training.com/Byron Center. All right, looking for a little interaction from my friends on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Most of the folks are on Facebook. Let's see here. You need a mortician to sponsor the show, says Adam. My God. Jason Schaefer says February 11th, it's projected to be 9 degrees, but in Orlando, it'll be 78. Are you traveling, you bastard? Oh, man, that's got to be nice. Oh, that is going to be so sweet. Let's see. Kenny, who is, Kenny, as you all know, is like is part of the heart and soul of this show. We go way back. Kenny was part of the army of people that listened, and then he followed me over to BBL. He writes, those weeks without Eric before WBBL were absolutely sad and brutal for me. He says, I haven't listened since. Let's see. I should probably take a look at these and then read them later. Jason says, Joel, as a business owner, should have known that your gig with him had nothing to do with your radio show and never made mention of it, even if he was a sponsor at the radio station. If he was mad or had issue, he should have taken it up with you. Well, not exactly, because I said it on the radio, which that made him feel bad, and it made him feel like, oh, yeah, he's saying that my place is a piece of shit and I'm an asshole. So I get what you're saying, but I don't, honestly, I think that the only thing I'm at fault of is doing what I always did. I always did this shit, okay? And the only thing that I struggled with is adapting. I just couldn't change my game. I loved doing what I did. I love busting balls, okay? And I always did that, and I never didn't. And so that was always my goal. I am going to go in there, and I am going to make everyone uncomfortable. I am going to try as hard as I can to make people laugh. And if that means you or someone is uncomfortable because of it, tough fuck. That's the way it is. I've done it this way since 2000. Well, it really kicked in earnest, and actually probably like 2002 with the boys. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. And you don't like it? Tough shit. You're a fucking problem. And I don't regret it. I'm happy. I'm happy with who I am. Yeah, I'm in my own thing now, but maybe that's for the best. It's not like I got nothing. I got you guys. If I was sitting here with absolutely nothing, then I might be like, oh, I should have changed. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. All right. So in the great state of Michigan, the kids get to play sports, and man, that's been bumming people out for a long time. Okay. Whitmer says the big announcements came after months of waiting. High school winter contact sports can finally move forward with their respective seasons. So you're talking about the basketball, the wrestling, the cheerleading. Fuck, track's coming. For you parents that are like, man, I hope that sports get back so that we can play track. You do not want this. Oh, my God. Do you even say play track? Or do you say so my kids can do track? Be on track? I don't know. It's an absolute abortion. If you are a parent who has never sat through a track meet and your kids right now are saying, good thing we can play sports this year because when it warms up, I'm going to run the 50 or the 100 or the hurdles or throw the discus. You need to talk them out of it. You need to say, oh, yeah, it's canceled. There's a lie. Do whatever you have to do. Say, yeah, Whitmer said we can do everything except that. Just make up a story so that you get it out of their head. Whatever. Avoid track at all costs because you're going to get to the stupid stadium at school gets out at whatever time, so 20 minutes after that, and you're going to see 50,000 kids on the infield, all just having a great old time. It's a big super spreader event, of course. But who cares about that? The big problem is the boredom. You're going to sit there till about 1 or 2 in the morning watching heat after heat of these slow, shitty kids who run the 100-yard dash in like 6 minutes. Oh, my God. All these asshole kids who are trying to beat the gym requirement by doing track. And it's just, all the fucking nerds are there. This is what they do to get out of gym. And they all everybody, there's heat after heat of the 100 of the slowest, fattest, stupidest kids you could possibly imagine. Boredom. Oh, my God. Avoid. You're going to be like, I hope to God that we have a spike in COVID so that it can cancel the track season. It is 100% the worst thing on the planet. If you thought that the girls' softball was boring, and it is, track makes the girls' softball game look like the Super Bowl. Like a good Super Bowl, the one where Tom Brady's down like 50 points and comes all the way back. That's how bad track is. Ugh. I feel sorry for Sarah Rutch because I think her kid throws like the javelin or some shit, or the shot put, or he does the pole vault. Ugh, God, they should make it so that, okay, if you say, okay, let's say you're a kid who throws a shot put, you're like the Husky kid, and they say, oh no, you can't do that. Why? Because we need to entertain the parents. You're gonna pole vault. That's what they need to do. They need to take the kid who's the Husky kid and make him do the pole vault, or make him run the mile or something like that. You can shoot him with paintballs, anything to liven it up. Ugh. So Whitmer says, all right, you people, you can go back and play sports. Originally, it was supposed to be like February 21. They could get back to it. But she says, nope, you can get back after it. Starting Monday. Officially, I guess the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is the one who makes this decision. Whitmer announced it. New order allows competition full contact practice to begin on Monday. This is exciting news, Whitmer said in a press conference. I'm so glad that our kids are going to be able to get back into playing the sports that they love. Now, I know that some of you people are hearing that, and you're like, bullshit, she's not. Would you stop? She is. I believe that. There is not 1 ounce of my Republican blood that believes that she was doing that just to control you or keep you under her thumb. And you shouldn't believe that. There is no way you should believe that she was doing that because she doesn't like you, or is mad at your kids, or she wants to hurt your kids, or she wants to be mean, or she's dumb. None of that. None of that is true, and I want you to flush it. If you think that, I want you to stop thinking it. Please. You're going back to play your sports. And if we don't have a spike in cases, you'll be able to continue to play your sports. I just want to get away from the idea that she was doing it just to break one off in you. Yeah, but this state plays, and this state plays, and where's the data? And Huge said this, and shut the fuck up. No. Just go play. You should play. Congratulations. And also, she wants you to know that the rally you did had nothing to do with their decision. You might think that it did. She said it didn't. Whitmer says, let them play rally did not influence the return of high school sports. And I believe that. I believe that the state's numbers are going down, and I don't believe that there is any degree of control in this. Okay? I'm glad that your kids can play sports. I really am. Case rates in Michigan are now at 159 per million, have been steadily declining over the past 24 days. That's awesome news. Test positivity rates have fallen to 4.9%. That's awesome. Lowest mark since mid-October. In fact, the other day, I think in one day, we had like a 3.5% positivity rate. That's really, really good. When you have it 3 and under, you have controlled it. That is excellent, excellent news. When Whitmer was asked if the Let Them Play rally sponsored by Huge, you see the video, the shot of Huge standing on the steps with no mask, going, hey, hey. I tweeted at him, I go, I hope they hose you down while you're on the steps. I want to see video of a big fire hose hitting Huge in the back and him bouncing down the steps going, hey, let's go to Bread's. Let's go to Burger Basket. Hey. When Whitmer was asked if the Let Them Play rally at the state capitol on January 30th helped influence the decision to reinstate contact sports, she said no. It had none. I have been very clear throughout this crisis that we are going to follow the science, and that's what we have been doing. I understand that there are many different groups at various different times over the last 11 months who have made their case publicly. The fact of the matter is, if anyone watched how I conducted myself and the way that we have navigated COVID, it's that we have been absolutely committed to following the science. I'm proud to say the pause has worked. The Let Them Play group also filed a lawsuit against the MDHHS. Some would think that that's what pushed her into making this announcement. Again, it's up to the MDHHS against Elizabeth Hertel on February 2nd of hoping to further push the government to reinstate fall sports. As a parent of children involved in sports as well, I understand the interest and emotion connected to finding solutions that allow us to gradually reopen opportunities for youth sports, including their physical and mental health benefits, while keeping our kids, coaches, and families as safe as possible from COVID-19. All right. So that's it. Congratulations. I just wanted to point out, and you believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to sit here and say you're stupid. I am going to say that I don't agree with you, and I think that you're wrong. If you think that she did this for any other reason other than to keep people from dying, that's what I believe. If you choose to believe that, it's up to you. But know that if you don't believe me, or if I don't believe you, that's okay. The goal is turn the heat down. Okay? Lose the assholishness going forward. That's the same message I've had from the second that the insurrection happened. We need the heat less. Okay? So there you go. Email of the day. Email of the day. Brought to you by Forever Law in West Michigan. Online at foreverlawn.com/WMI. Okay. As I refresh, Craig has sent COVID causes global warming. Looks great. Kyle writes this. Zane, and this is concerning when you hear old things on the lost Zane recordings from years ago on WBBL, which I post twice a week on my Patreon. If you hear something that's like ironic or when viewed in the light of February 5th, 2021, or whatever the date currently that we're on, has a ironic type of feel to it, send it along. Send me those moments, because then I can go back and highlight them, because I don't really listen to the lost Zane recordings. Pellerito sent something that I'll feature with Ben today, and that is the audio of the Great Pumpkin Incident. That is the moment on the show when we made a crack about the kid selling the pumpkins. Basically did what I've always done. And I got in so much trouble over that. Ben and I both. And then I blamed Ben over it. Oh, my God. We'll feature that on today's Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. So anyway, if you hear anything on Patreon on the Lost Zane recordings or on the free view of the Lost Zane recordings, which I make available for everybody, send along the info, because I do not listen to that shit. I just take it and I post it on the platform. I record an intro, I put the show notes, and then that's it. I don't listen to that shit. Kyle writes, your email of the day. Eric, I'm catching up on the Patreon. I heard a moment where you and Julius were discussing the NFL draft. And Jared Goff going to the Rams came up. He was picked number one by them. He was their first round draft pick. You guys talk about his small hands, and it's pretty funny since he is the Detroit Lions quarterback now. By the way, I am looking forward to that guy. There's a real mystery going on about how he fell out of favor with Sean McVay, the coach, and there's a rumor that what do you call it? Goff made a crack about how hot McVay's wife is, and that he said in a group text that he wants to pipe his wife, or his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, Veronica. She's super hot. And that Goff said in a group text that he wanted to pipe the coach's wife. I'd never heard that term used that way. Yeah, I want to pipe somebody. To get to it in my best Kenny voice, yeah, man, you got to cue in about a 25-minute mark on show number 17. Ha-ha, yeah. He says, also, not sure if you want to hear a bit with your mother, but you guys do a Tigers trivia game for Mother's Day. The conversation takes place. You got to cue in to an hour 53. Yeah. And her being very confused about how the game works makes us all laugh. The actual trivia game begins at about the 2-hour, 25-minute mark of the podcast. Good times, man. Signed, Zaniac Kyle Tomei in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I did actually hear that. And the thing about my mother from 5 years ago is, I had grown used to the sound of my mother's voice as she declined. And it had a quality to it of a person reflective of her state at that time. You go back 5 years, and though she was in her late 70s, she sounds like she's like 40. And I marveled at that. That was incredible to me. And I am very, very grateful that I have all of that material in long form to go back on and park. So thank you for that tidbit. Speaking of the exact same scenario, my dad now compared to my dad 5 years ago is on display. And I just posted this on the free view of the Lost Zane recordings. It's available wherever you get the free podcasts that you're listening to right now, the audio. If you are subscribed to my audio podcast on any platform, it'll just show up there. I posted it. It showed up 5 a.m. this morning. It's the precursor to Dear Meathead. We had my dad on the air on that show, and I just published it. And after that, I got an email from someone saying you should have your dad on every week for a advice column. And that was how it all started. Dear Meathead. That's how it all began. Okay. Cameo for Valentine's Day. I want somebody to reach out. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. I have had a great whole round number of 0 of you for the Valentine's Day cameo, but I want to do at least one of these. You've got a special someone in your life, and you want me to tell them how you feel about them. Being nice here. I can do a great, very, very, I can do a great job at this if you just tell me what you want me to do. Let's say you're madly in love with your wife or your girlfriend, and you want me to talk about it. Oh boy, I can make you look so good. And I swear to God, I won't mess it up. I mean, I won't roast you or say anything sideways. All right? Unless you want me to. It's up to you. Cameo.com/Eric Zane, or download the Cameo app online onto your mobile device and just search Eric Zane. Okay, A&E Heating and Cooling, they want you to reach out to them, 616-516-8579. Joe Martinez.
Tu madre es una puta.
And ask about the Remy Halo. That is the device that restaurants and places where people gather, that is the device that they are installing to purify the air of COVID and dust, dirt, allergens, pollens, bacteria, anything. The lighting, the very special lights, bathe the air as it moves and circulates through your heating and cooling system. As that happens, the lights, they use reflective electromagnetic energy technology. That is a real thing. The air hits the lights. All of those bad things I talked about are turned into hydrogen peroxide plasma. And then that is circulated throughout your house. But when the hydrogen peroxide molecules combine, they get bigger. Big enough that the filter trap on your furnace catches them and you have cleaner air. Okay? You can tell the difference immediately within a handful of minutes after you install the Remy Halo that the air is cleaner in your home. This is especially important in the winter months because we keep it all closed up. Install the Remy Halo. It's normally $750. If you reach out to Joe Martinez, you can get it for $650. There you go. Just mention me, 616-516-8579. All right. What the hell is this? All right. There's just so much chatter on the Facebook and on YouTube that I want to like stop and read it all, but I'll have to do it later on. That'll be too much of a massive distraction. All right. Thank you, Joe Martinez. You're a good man. Have a good day today. Be careful on the roads. Also, call Joe if you have an after-hours service call. It's going to cost you more, but you're going to get your heat on. 616-516-8579. Get the car fixed at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. 616-532-6600. Irvines.com. In and around West Michigan. Take your car to Irvine's. The best in the business. They won't let you down. I love how they do business. It's the whole idea of, let's say I know I need an oil change and a wheel alignment. I drive there Sunday night at, 7 p.m., drop my key in the little drop box thing. At about 11 a.m. Monday, I get an email that says, I need you to approve what we're going to do to the car. And then it says, approve the oil change, approve the wheel alignment, approve. And then it says, you need this, this, and this too. Do you want the boys to work on this as well? I don't know, maybe. I might need clarification. Let me call. I call, they pick it up. So tell me what's up. Yeah, well, we detailed it all in the email, but this is what you need. The brake fluid's a disaster. The transmission fluid's a disaster. It tested poorly. We're holding the color thing up to it, and you can see how degraded it is. You really need this done, Eric. This is very important. Those other things, they can wait till the next time you're here, but these things you really need. Hit approve. Okay, approve. Boom, done. Pay over and then they send you an invoice online. You hit pay. You pay for it from right here, and then you go and you pick it up. You don't have to see anybody. You'd want to see everybody. And these are beautiful people. But that's how it works at Irvine. 616-532-6600. Okay. Zaniac Chris D. had a terrific idea. By the way, Mitchell says, put me down for paintball on the 28th. Bring in both my boys. Yeah, I'll put you down. I'll also direct you to a link when I get it from Rick at TC Paintball, and you'll take care of all of that in advance. So thank you, Mitchell. I'm looking forward to seeing the Tarantula Farmer. Zaniac Chris pointed out, he goes, hey, the Dan Lebitard show does polls all the time. You should do polls on like hot button issues. And then you discuss it. I go, and I'm like, how did this come up? Because while I was listening to you the other day and you were getting Facebook feedback or something like that in the moment of the show, and it was awesome. It flowed well. And I go, yeah, you're right, man. We got to do that. Because then I can kind of pick the brain of people and talk to them about what the hell they want to talk about. So we did have a hot button issue to throw out there. So I put it out on Twitter. and Facebook. And if you are a sponsor of the show or you want to be a sponsor of the show, you too can sponsor the Eric Zane Show podcast Facebook poll or Twitter poll. Reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. No sponsor yet, but for the right price, you can sponsor it. And this one got a ton of action. I wrote, does Morgan Wallen deserve to be canceled for dropping the N-word? Let's see. Do I have the audio of how it went? I think I do. This is how it went.
Take care of this pussy. Hey, actually, hey, y'all too? Yeah. Hey, take care of this pussy ass motherfucker. Oh. Hey, Gracie, take care of this pussy ass.
Okay. Now, as far as that goes, I don't have all the context. I don't know if he's angry. I don't know who he's addressing it to. If Morgan Wallen walks up to a black guy and calls him a terrible word like that, trying to racially intimidate him, that is different than what I suspect is going on there. I suspect that he says that word regularly. I'm assuming the context here. This isn't excusing him. This is just what I think he's doing. I think he's referring to a buddy as that terrible word in a ball-busting type of way, not meant to be attacking. I am not saying that's right or that's wrong. Well, I am. I'm saying that's wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's the context. This isn't like some Karen accusing a black guy of assaulting her and calling the black guy the N-word, okay? This is not that. Does that warrant the cancellation? That's what I'm asking. Now, I got a ton of action on this, 147 comments. So I'll be searching and reading at the same time. I got a lot of people saying not canceled. Most of the comments were, no, he should not be canceled. You're all pretty serious about it. A lot of you gave a lot of really, really serious thought about the whole thing. Kevin writes, no, but he will be canceled for about 6 months until he goes on his apology tour like Kyle Larson did. Give it a year and he will be back on the radio. And that's the other thing. As more and more of these things happen, you're getting the responses to be that much more intense. The very quick canceling of this dude. I mean, all the radio stations wiped this guy out. I mean, and some of the people talk about what they're doing there and whether right or wrong what they're thinking. And I think I understand that. I don't understand what this person wrote. I encourage all white people who hate this double standard to fight it. I want all of you to start saying this daily to friends, strangers, family at work, at restaurants, at church. Fight for what you believe. I don't think that's a good thing to say. And if you're the person who wrote that, you should probably delete that. I should probably hide that on your behalf, because I think if your boss saw that you wrote that, that would not be good. Jeffrey writes, given the context, no, same as Kyle Larson, not the Jeffrey who I gave a kidney to. This person says, no, he was talking to his friends. This person says, stop giving the guy attention, maybe, says Derek. This person says, not at all. Such a double standard. Some can say it, but others can't. And a lot of people go down that road about how is it, and what they're referring to is, why can black guys say it, but white guys can't? And I don't know. I don't have that answer. There is a black guy that weighs in on this a little later on in the comments that I think makes a strong case, but I'm not qualified to weigh in on it. I just know I don't and can't and won't. Okay. That's the only amount of thought I give this. I don't sit there and act like I'm hurt because I can't say the N-word. I just don't like saying that word. It's just so many alarms when I even think of that word go off in my head. And it's above my pay grade to try to figure out why. Why is it okay for black guys and not okay? Oh boy, fuck it. I'm not even going down that road. I laugh when black guys say it. When Dave Chappelle says it, I laugh at that. I think it's funny how he does it. And I am not at all offended when Dave Chappelle says that. At all. I cringe when I'm with mixed company, like a group of people, and I hear it. And but when I'm alone and I hear somebody say it, I think it's fucking hilarious when Dave Chappelle says it. No, white guy, do not say that. Josh says, absolutely not. I stated Thursday on the freebie, there are many other singers who say much worse. I know what you're doing there. You're talking about black guys saying it in their music, and nobody bats an eye at them. And as for the it's different if you're a certain color and saying it argument, that's a bunch of bunk too. I understand that's how it is, but frankly, that's stupid. The special needs population doesn't go around calling each other the R word. But wouldn't it be an amazing world if it was? I think we need to have that happen. I think I would never want to say that word. Now that's another word that I don't like to say. But just like if Dave Chappelle says the N-word, I don't care. If people that are special needs and they say that, I think we need to vote. I think we need to yes, say yes to this. Caucasians don't go around calling each other whatever racist slur we have against us. By the way, there's a lot of people who dispute Josh's points. I'll get to those in a second. So I guess what I'm telling you on the live stream is just let's listen to the dialogue as opposed to adding more dialogue. So why should only African Americans be able to say the N-word? Again, I'm not in favor of it. If one population can say it, we should all be able to, or no one. He had a few too many, said something he shouldn't have, didn't go about it Eric's way. But there is no reason to cancel him. We have too many people are getting too butthurt and overreacting. Let's see. This person talked to Josh. Sorry, buddy, you went too far in this one. You know there's a difference. But I also am not in argument with the whole cancel culture movement either. If a celebrity goes down something that offends you personally, stop following them. I think what it breaks down to a lot of people who are saying that it is not okay for white people to say it and it is okay for black people to say it. The white people said it to the black people when the black people were slaves. That's how that was used. And the oppression that was going on at the time, you're in shackles and you're being whipped and raped and murdered and you work. And I mean, that's what it was. So, that's why I think that a white guy should never ever say that word. And I don't have a problem with a black guy saying it. I think that is part of it. Okay. Now, do I like it when black people like seriously just like yell that out in a group of people? No, like I said, it makes me uncomfortable. If I'm watching Dave Chappelle, I'm laughing. So I think it's all about context. But if anybody can pull it off, the black man can. The white man can't. That's how I feel. Let's see here. What's next? We got a lot here, so I'm kind of like going through them and reading them. Matt, who's a huge country music fan, says, no way. I don't think so. There is a huge, and I mean huge difference between the N-word and what he said it was blown way out of proportion and taken extremely out of context. More people should see the actual video unbeeped, and you'll hear the way he said it. And we covered that. I don't think it was hateful. And we don't have him saying it in a hateful, racist way. So, being that we're this far away from it, ultimately, I don't think he should be canceled. If he had been hateful and racist about it, then I think he should be canceled. But I don't think he should use the word anymore. Will he? He probably will. When he knows he's not being recorded, this guy is probably going to say it again. Let's see. Jake writes, people claiming mistakes. Sure, but mistakes have consequences. He'll get another deal and be back just like so many others, but right now he gets to pay the piper. All right, fair enough. I think that makes sense. Let's see. Where's the one? Mike Logan, comedian who's been in this room with me on this show, is a black man. Mike writes this. All you people saying no that he shouldn't be canceled would get fired if this happened to you. But it's cool if this guy does it. And the people with the he shouldn't have gotten, he wrote he shouldn't have gotten got, which I don't know what that means, mentality, you're all just as bad as he is. Why? Well, all right. I don't know about that. He says, why are white people so obsessed with the N-word? Why do you all care so much that we use it and don't want you to? It doesn't affect any of you in any way, but you all have an opinion about it. Just let us have something without white people needing to claim some sort of ownership or putting some sort of rules on it. All right, let's see. I apologize. Okay. Sarah writes, not y'all defending a white man who said the N-word. Actions come with consequences. Look at the context he used it in. He got what he deserved. No record label. This is great. And this is what a lot of people are like, free speech, free speech. Free speech does not apply here. Free speech only applies if the government is saying you can't say something. Why do I keep having to say this? Why does everyone keep having to say this? That's not an obstruction of your speech or of telling you that you can't talk. You can say whatever you want. Sarah makes a great point. He got what he deserved. No record label or award show wants to be affiliated with a white man who hatefully says the N-word. I don't think it was hateful, but you get the idea. This also wasn't the first time he's been caught saying it. I don't know that. Maybe he should educate himself on the meaning of the word. Tanel, I think it's important to acknowledge the context in which he said it, which was hateful. I don't think so. It's not just a word. It's a word filled with history of hate, discrimination, murder, and oppression. Why did he specifically use the word and in the context he did? He chose to use it, and now he needs to pay the price for his own behavior and actions. Ed says a white person cannot use that word. Only a black person or an Asian can. An Asian can? What are you talking about? So shame on him. He messed up and should apologize in hopes that he is forgiven. And then I was actually impressed with it did take a long time before it kind of got off the rails. There was a little bit of back and forth where things got a little weird. But I'm pretty happy with how you all did. Shannon writes this. And I think it's a little unfair what she writes. She writes, this post is bringing out all the ignorant, many of whom cannot spell, don't know what punctuation is, and don't understand proper grammar. Well, look, Shannon, I fall into that category, so I don't know if that's fair. If I were to casually throw around racial slurs at my workplace, I would be terminated because of a zero-tolerance policy. My company wouldn't want me to represent them, just as his record label and country music don't want him to represent them. It's easy to apologize after the fact when you know you've been caught. That's a good point, Shannon. And you know what's at stake. The fact that it so easily came out of his mouth leads me to assume it's not the first time he's used that word. I agree with that. As our country artists have pointed out, for those of you who are defending him by saying that he didn't mean it to be racist, or if you think a simple apology negates the fact that a racial slur was used, I would strongly encourage you to do some research on the history of that word, or better yet, to talk to someone outside of your little bubble who might take offense at the word and ask them why. Try to see things from their point of view. A little education and understanding goes a long way. Bottom line, a racial slur should never exit your mouth for any reason and in any context. And if it does, you should be ready to face the consequences. All right. That's it. Well thought. I think that they're all okay, man. I think that I understand if you're speaking from emotion and pissed off, saying, I understand the point of view about, white guy, black guy, you can't, you do this, you can't. But at the end of the day, I don't think you should say that word. I know, double standard, but that's it. There is. Okay, there you go. That's I'm glad we did that. Chris, thank you for the idea on the Eric Zane Show podcast listener poll. Will this guy be back? I think so. I think he will. It's going to take a little time. But as Tesla said in that one song, love song, but he will be back. Okay, a couple more things. Today is a big day. Being that it is the 5-year anniversary of my last day on GRD, it lines up with another very famous day. We will always forever know February 5th is my last day on GRD and another massive holiday. Okay? But before I get to that, my friends at Horizon Hydroponics are reminding you that if you need anything at all to help your indoor grow, whatever you're growing, marigolds, tomatoes, corn, cannabis. Who the hell would grow corn indoors? You think that's ever happened in someone's house where they're growing a couple rows of corn indoors? You could with Horizon Hydroponics. Everything that you need is at your disposal at one website, horizonhydroponics.com. Orders anywhere in the United States over $250 and more. The shipping is free. Use the coupon code ZaneShow at checkout. You get 10% off. They also have 4 brick-and-mortar locations where the experts are working there right now on Alpine and Grand Rapids, the Growers Outlet in Byron Center, Michigan, and then Lansing and Kalamazoo. Thank you to Horizon Hydroponics. If you're working at a business that has an end-of-life scenario for the technology there, you might want to consider getting a complimentary consultation from Blue Frost IT. The workers that you employ, or if you're one of those workers, you might want to suggest this to the boss. Boss, I think we need an upgrade. Let's call Blue Frost IT 616-200-8550 and get a complimentary consultation. It could be new hard drives, could be new monitors, new printers, firewall setup, whatever it may be, brand new computers, laptops. They can price it all out for you, buy it on your behalf. You sign on the dotted line and they install everything for you, and then they continue to service your top-of-the-line gear that they build from the ground up for you. Blue Frost IT. You can drop them an email, info at bluefrostit.com. Check out their website, bluefrostit.com, or call them again at 616-200-8550. And then, of course, here we are. It is March 5th. We're getting, pretty darn close where people are going to be like, man, I got to get those taxes done. I got to quit putting this off. That is a dreadful thought. Reach out to Troy Kinzer at Tag Accounting and have him work for you for your business or your personal taxes. 616-301-9516. Give the Gins a try at Tag Accounting. The tax hobbit will work tirelessly for you to get you the most back on your refund. And the extent of your effort, reaching out to him, maybe send him some documents on his online portal. That's it. The next thing you know, your taxes are done. Your money on your return is in your bank account, and you will get more. You'll get more money with Tag Accounting. 616-301-9516. So a judge in Miami is getting set to do the online arraignment where Florida man will walk up to the camera, and he's looking into the camera. He's shackled. He's got his mask on. He's got his prison gear on. He's done something he shouldn't do. I think this guy's a career criminal because I watched the whole arraignment, more than just what I'm about to play for you. And I think this guy's been in and out of the system. But what he hasn't lost is his charm, because the dude walks up to the camera that he's looking into where the judge is. And next to the camera is a monitor that he can see the judge, so the dialogue can happen between them. The judge, same thing on her end. She's in her chambers looking into a camera, and she sees a guy in the monitor. The guy walks up, and he sees that this judge is an absolute stone cold stunner. Complete smoke show. This judge is a total babe. And she is too, man. You take one look at her, you go, wow, she is absolutely beautiful. And now if it's me, I'm not going to say shit, because if I look at her, she's probably going to get up and then wander over to the room I'm in and kick my ass. And but rule number one is I wouldn't say shit because the queen of the forest would have kicked my ass. She'd be like, "What? That you're only supposed to say that about me." But this guy, I'm guessing there isn't a Mrs. Convict, and he makes a move on the judge right there on the arraignment. Check it out.
Demetrius Lewis on page 26.
Just a little, yeah. How you doing?
All right, I'm good, sir. How are you?
Judge, you is so gorgeous, Miss Judge. I just have to tell you, you're gorgeous.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. All right, Mr. Lewis. Flattery will get you everywhere, but maybe not here. The court finds probable cause on count 1, burglary, occupied dwelling.
Mr. Lewis left a mark. She smiled like, oh, I just spit. She smiled the wryest smile for a minute. Well, a second. She was like, I'm going to have sex with this guy. And then she got herself composed. She's like, all right, great. Okay, no, I got to reel it back in. And she, ooh, a bad boy. I like how he starts out, how you doing? He gives her that.
Demetrius Lewis on page 26.
Demetrius Lewis.
Just a little, yeah. How you doing?
All right, I'm good, sir. How are you?
Judge, you is so gorgeous, Miss Judge. I just have to tell you, you're gorgeous.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. All right, Mr. Lewis. Flattery will get you everywhere.
That's awesome.
But maybe not here. The court finds probable cause on count 1, burglary, occupied dwelling.
Yeah, he was breaking into somebody's house or something like that. The guy's been in and out of jail his whole life. They listen. I'll link it up so you can see that whole thing and tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, she had this smile on her face like, wow, this guy's got game. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That whole deal. My God, that's awesome. Thank you to Zaniac Eric, who reached out and said, Zane, did you know that February 5th is a big day? And I'm like, what? He says, it's a holiday. What? It is National Fart Day. And I'm like, what? And yeah, that's what it says. February 5th, 2021. It's called Did You Fart Day. Oh my God. National Did You Fart Day. This is so stupid. Flatulence is as defined in the medical literature. I don't need to describe this to you. We all know what it is. Hell, I've been doing it during this podcast probably 3 times. The dogs might have reacted to it. But the reason why he reached out to me is because I've got a couple things I need to play for you. This kind of all lines up with the Super Bowl. Antonio Brown, crazy. He's in the Super Bowl. Antonio Brown is playing for Tampa Bay. The fact that he's rebounded and is playing in the Super Bowl, how does this tie in with National Fart Day? Well, it was that video that surfaced a long time ago of him working with like his trainer. And in the video, Brown kept farting in the guy's face. Remember that? This is crazy.
Let's see here. My bad, dog.
My bad, dog.
Shit. I didn't even get that when you're so lean there. Pretty freaking low. It comes to bodybuilders. This is pretty freaking low.
Just fucking right.
My bad. Damn. No, shitty. I had a lot of fiber, bro.
What do you mean, my bad? You did it on purpose. He's there with one of his friends, and the friend is laughing his ass off. If there was ever any doubt about how much of an asshole Antonio Brown is, it's this.
My bad.
The guy is, I'm not kidding you. He's like 6 inches away as he's working on his back, trying to loosen up his muscles, and he's
bodybuilders. This is pretty low.
You asshole. What a dick.
Damn. No, shitty. I had a lot of fiber, bro.
Yeah, I would have fucking taken a knife and stabbed him and said, you're not playing football anymore, dick. But the reason why Eric reached out, he goes, you need to play that clip from long ago, the parade of farts. Who was the guy? Called himself Paul Flart or something like that. Is that what it was? The guy who on Instagram, that's who it was, Paul Flart. Paul Flart on Instagram. he would he was a security guard, and he would constantly record himself farting, and all you'd see was his face, and then he'd like push it out, and you'd hear it. And so somebody, I think I might have done it, edited them all together. This is 1:22. This is so gross. This is going to make some of you really, really sick, but stay with it. Oh, God. Stevie just threw up. This is what it sounds like when Dale's knuckle deep. Okay, now some of these are just shit. That's not a fart. That's pure shit right in his pants. I mean, we're talking major bubbleage. These are all real. Paul Flart. Only 50 more seconds. And 30 more seconds.
Okay.
It's that tone. Oh, that right there. There's no chance that his underwear is dry after that. Daddy. This guy recreated children. Oh my God. Big finish. Oh my God. There you go, Eric. You ask and you shall receive. That's why I saved that for last, because everybody was like leaving. Oh, that's a good point. Hold on. This is how it sounds when the NFK is in the toilet. That's it. This is me having to clean up the toilet after. Oh God, fuck it. I can't take it. All right, I'll talk to y'all on Patreon. I got to go plow the snow. Have a good one, folks. Love you very much. Bye-bye.